contrabass. Now, there are many, many other things that a bass can do, and I have a lot of different songs and stories and things to do for you to show you exactly what I mean, so you will all walk out today being very educated about the bass. The song that we just heard was Scherzo by Van Goens. And now, Van Goens. A lot of the pieces that you may hear today are not a lot of the famous composers that you may have heard about. You're talking about listening to pieces written for or transposed for the bass. So I would think that many of the pieces you hear today would be the ones that you're hearing for the very first time. This piece is written by Paul Ramsier. He lives in New York City. He's a psychologist by profession, like my wife. And he also loves to write pieces for the bass fiddle. Sam is a low note who lives at the bottom of the bass clef. During the day, Sam works for a composer whose name is Paul. When Sam began working for Paul, he was not very happy because Paul composed most of his music for a fashionable high note, whose name was Loretta. Paul only used Sam once in a while to express feelings that people don't like very much. For instance, Paul gave Sam low note all the mysterious and frightening music. Sam also got all the angry music about things like grouchy hippopotamuses. Sam even got mean music about things like gritty spinach. Occasionally, Paul composed something a little nicer for Sam low note, like grasshopper music. On the other hand, Loretta high note got to sing about all the things that people like. For instance, Loretta high note can trill like a nightingale. But when Sam tries to trill, it makes your teeth chatter like a trembling octopus. Loretta high note can run very fast on tiptoe. But when Sam runs, he just trips over his feet. Well, poor Sam low note felt very lonely and neglected, and even a little jealous of Loretta high note. So once in a while, to comfort himself, Sam would sing the low note blues. On the other day, after Sam sang the blues, he said to himself, "I know there are very special things that I can do. Things that people would like if only Paul would give me a break." So on that very day, Sam said to Paul, "I think I have certain qualities that you may not be aware of, and I would like to have an audition." And Paul said, "Well, okay, Sam, what did you have in mind?" And Sam said, "For one thing, I can sound very noble and majestic. Listen to this." Paul was definitely impressed and said, "Loretta high note should hear this. What else can you do, Sam?" Sam paused and then said quietly, "I can make people feel warm and comfortable all over, like this." both Paul and Loretta Highnote were impressed, then Loretta said,
Why, Sam, I never knew you had it in you. Even I can't sound like that.
Then Loretta blushed slightly and said to Sam,
I might even like to sing a duet with you.
Loretta and Sam gazed affectionately at each other for a moment. Then they turned to Paul and said, Paul, how about composing a duet for us? Paul immediately got to work on a duet for Sam and Loretta, and when it was finished, Sam Lownote was very happy. In fact, he jumped for joy. And now, here are Sam and Loretta in a duet called Sametta Duetta. Thank you very much. We now know that the bass can do a lot of other things besides some of the type of bass playing that you've always heard. I like to just demonstrate a little bit of that, such as this style. Or something like this.
Very good.
But we also know that the bass, from what we've seen so far, can do many, many more things. In this particular song, Gavotte by Lorenzetti, European composer, we are listening to two people dance. Low notes, the man dancing, and the higher notes, which get pretty high, the woman dancing, sometimes even together. Thank you very much. I enjoy having you here. Be very careful. If you get too close, the bow can poke you. So always keep within a certain range, okay? The spearing range. Keep out of the spearing range. Okay, about 2 songs from now, I'm going to need you guys as helpers, okay?
Yeah.
All right, you guys got to be patient. We have a very special song now because we've gone over how the bass can make different sound effects. The bass can signify people doing things, but the bass can be many, many other things. For instance, how about a swan? Think of this big, clumsy instrument that you could only play slow on, being as pretty as the most gorgeous swan you've ever seen. Thank you very, very much. You have to make a little transformation right now. We just had the bass play a very small animal. But sometimes people think the bass, I don't know why, they think the bass should portray a very large animal, such as the elephant. And we need some helpers, okay? Helpers? Come on, come over here. Okay? Just line up straight out like this way. Line up. One over here, one over here. And then make a line in front of me, right like this. Okay, spread out, spread out. You're gonna need some room. Okay, now turn to face the audience. Turn to face the audience, okay? Catch me out of the corner of your eye here. Put your right arm out. That's the arm that's by the bass and the piano. Okay? Close. 1, 2. Good. Okay. Now, with your other arm, the other arm. Look at me for a second. With the other arm. Okay? That's the one that's by the exit sign over there in the door with the fire alarm thing that you shouldn't push. Okay? One of my recitals, my little nephew, of course, pushed it. Now, you take this hand and hold this arm up because it's going to get heavy. All right? Put it underneath your arm. One hand underneath your arm. Doesn't matter which arm. Okay? All right. Close enough. Now, I want you to be an elephant's trunk. Ready? Real loose. You got to be real loose. Are you ready for the song? Yeah. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Keep going. Just finish. All my elephants, take a bow. Very good. Thank you. You may find your seats and rest those arms. Now you know what it must be like when those elephants have to carry that big thing around.